Hi everyone, my name is Anthony James Hayes. You probably know me from Best from Brothers to Searching, and I'm so honored today that you meet me here. I want to talk about a little bit about my book. The first one I wrote was Journey of the Christians, From Dead Works to Living Faith, my very first book. It's about the story about me, pretty much going through things and how I overcome by the Word of God. And here is The New Kingdom with Liberty Man and Evil Stone. That's my second best book so far. And I want to take a little time to tell you about my second book mostly. The first one is about some children. They go to like an adventure. They go to see a new kingdom, the future, I guess you can say, of God and how He's going to restore the kingdom to Garden of Eden conditions. And they fight good and evil and light and darkness. So I encourage you to actually get these books. They're available on Amazon or Barnes & Noble. And then my second story, Liberty Man, a man who fights for freedom, and he takes off the chains of tyranny, of the kings of tyranny off of him. So he finally gets free, and I hope you find out his journey and how he got free and so on. And then my third book, The Evil Stone, a man who actually turned to the devil, or he sold his soul to the devil for a powerful magic stone. And he had the promise of ruling the world. So I hope you enjoy these books. They're available. And they're family friendly, and there's something you can learn with the Word of God. They're parables that you can teach your children and your grandchildren about. So I encourage you today to go to these places, and I hope you bless and you enjoy these books. Thank you.
You're about to embark on a journey through the written Word of God on subjects that deal with today. This is Brothers Just Searching.
How you doing, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Brothers Just Searching, where we talk about God's Word and encourage the brothers and sisters of Jesus Christ and to educate and to edify everyone out there. I caught that one back. How you doing, guys? What's going on?
Pretty good. Doing
good? I forgot to introduce y'all. Oh, man, it's...
Yeah, but everybody knows.
Day,
but everybody knows who we are already.
You sure about that?
Yes, everybody knows who we are. All they got to look at is our ugly faces. They'll recognize us.
Not according to some people. They say we have handsome faces.
They do?
They must have picked up their own podcast.
They better go get some glasses. They need them bad.
Or worse, they might be drunk.
Oh, Lord.
Well, do you know that most Christians believe it's okay to drink in church now?
So that's the ones who are drinking.
Well,
Yeah.
well, they remind me of the Catholic religion. You know, Catholics drink, and
But
Jehovah's Witnesses drink, and
no, Jehovah's don't.
yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. Oh, you want to bet? I got an uncle and an aunt that's Jehovah's Witnesses, and they drink.
They better not let their pastor or whatever they know, because supposedly they supposed to not drink.
They're going to be excommunicated.
Yes.
Now, I know Mormons do for sure. Mormons can't eat chocolate or drink coffee.
Or the Mormons also say you can have more than one wife, so...
But you see, they make up for the coffee they can't have.
Wait, it's okay to drink, but it's not okay to drink coffee.
They make up for what they gotta, yeah, they got some.
They gotta have an excuse, man. Can you imagine a man having more than one wife?
Yeah.
You gotta have one that's gonna get up in a good mood one morning.
That's what Jed Clampett said.
Yeah. Ask Solomon, he knows.
Oh.
Could you imagine? Look, 1,000 wives?
1,000 wives and 700 concubines.
Yeah.
No. He had 700 wives and 300 concubines. Was titled to
okay. You connected them all together.
Yeah.
Okay. You're right. Yeah. I just made a mistake.
He must took him a lot of aspirin.
A lot of Tylenol too, probably.
Probably all at one time.
Cool.
Probably a whole bottle when he went to bed at night, so he could sleep.
I bet you he drank a lot.
He was probably an alcoholic.
He did forsake God, so
Well, yeah, I'd forsake God too with all them wives. My goodness, man! Can you imagine all the false gods he was serving? Oh my goodness, he had a false god for every wife he had.
Mm-hmm. They have on the serious note, some people think he became a warlock.
He probably was a warlock.
Yeah, they did. He was a male witch.
He was maybe a wizard too.
Yeah, he was a man witch. They think. Yep.
Yeah, you know how many people get offended though?
Was the ones that look for the goal at the end of the rainbow?
Leprechaun.
A leprechaun. He might have been a leprechaun too.
I don't know. But going back to that point, you know how many people get upset when you start talking about Solomon like that? I remember in Boogie, you know who I'm talking about. They had a good friend of ours who was having that discussion. And I brought out the thought that 9 out of 10 Solomon didn't make it. Man,
I don't know, man.
You thought I was going after the Pope right there.
I think he probably repented at the end.
I don't know. It don't say it in the Bible. You know, Boogie, I'm thinking about that. You know, honestly, that man knew God at one time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He just
I'm
didn't
sure-
know God. God talked to him.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. So you got to think towards the end of his life. I mean, he had to be thinking, you know, I need to make things right. You know, it don't say it in the Bible. I think I even heard Jimmy Swagger say that.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's a possibility.
Well, some people
There's
think
just-
that he wrote. I think he wrote Proverbs and
Well, he wrote some of the Psalms. He wrote Proverbs. He wrote Lamentations.
And he wrote Ecclesiastes.
Lamentation, I think, it was Jeremiah.
He wrote
Yeah,
Ecclesiastes.
Jeremiah that wrote
Yeah,
that.
Ecclesiastes, and then he wrote the Song of Solomon.
And he wrote the Songs of Solomon.
And even
yeah.
that, some people are doubtful that he wrote that. They think they just put that in the title, so we don't know.
Yeah.
But still, man, you know.
All that
Let's say it
wisdom.
like this: I'm really sure Solomon wrote the Song of Solomon. Because the way that the content of the Song of Solomon is, he knew with 1,000 wives, he had to know what he was talking about.
Yeah.
Why?
He was an expert, I'm sure.
Well, I'm sure he had a lot of knowledge and a lot of experience. So
In that particular field.
in that particular field, you know, nobody could teach him anything.
Yeah, and I think it was Ecclesiastes. I think when he wrote, he said a nagging woman is like having a drop of water on, like when you're sleeping. It just doop,
Ugh.
doop, doop.
That's what I'm saying.
It's like
he
a drip
probably
of
had a
water.
lot of nagging wives, but one of them had to be in a good mood
Yeah.
sometime.
Well, he actually said it was better to be on top
My
of a
dad's
roof.
rubbing up on you now. I'm just
Yeah,
saying, rubbing
yeah.
up on you.
You
I don't have no wife.
No, I know that's what I'm saying.
so
but-
you're safe.
Not necessarily. You never know.
Yeah. Well, Solomon said it's actually better to sleep on top of a roof than to stay with a nagging wife.
It's actually to be on top of a roof than to stay with an angry wife in the house.
But just think about it, how could a man with that much wisdom say, "Hey, I'm gonna go ahead and marry 1,000 wives"?
Well, he did it. He did it for personal reasons, but he also did it for,
Yeah, 'cause he never had a war. He's one of
they-
the only kings in Israel that never had a war.
Well, they did it for diplomatic, political
Diplomacy,
reasons.
yeah.
Yeah, political reasons. Yeah.
Yeah, you wouldn't just send an ambassador to the next country. You just go ahead and say, "Hey, marry my daughter." Okay.
Yeah, and then
And he was the son of David.
yeah, and then they won't
That's
cause
what
no
gets
wars
me.
either. Because think about it, he married Pharaoh's daughter. For example, the Pharaoh's not gonna attack his own son-in-law. I mean, you think about it. So that was that.
Unless
was,
he didn't like the son-in-law.
Yeah, or unless they had a bad argument. Yeah,
Oh.
maybe that could happen too. So, but that was a chance there was no war either. I mean,
Yeah.
No, there was peace when Solomon was king.
Well, you see, Solomon. That's how I look at it. I think God already gave Solomon peace. I just think he did that for peace, but he didn't have to do all that. He didn't have to sacrifice his salvation.
He
to do
said,
that.
God told Solomon, he said there'll be peace
Yeah.
the whole time.
But
you're
him
king.
doing that, he was doing peace like that. And
Right.
He didn't have to. He didn't have to go do that.
No.
It was already peace set up for him to build a temple. So
Yeah, and
Didn't he build God's house?
yeah,
that
he sure
was the
did.
temple.
Yeah, because David couldn't build it. His
That's
hands were
right.
full of blood.
Right,
So
yeah.
God didn't want the temple
but
filled with blood.
it gets me though. There is a point on there that says you how to say it took 7 years to build the temple, but I think it took like 14 years to build his house.
His house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, so as that was a kind of chasing a rabbit right there. I don't know, how did we get into that conversation?
That'd be a good conversation. Or that
Well,
would be
a good conversation.
That
How
would be
did we
something
get
to
into
talk
that
about.
conversation?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know
Just
how we
almost-
got into it, but
Yeah.
just to talk,
Yeah,
give
you know.
people something to think about.
Yep.
No, but anyway, how's everything? Hey, we got into the new building.
And hey, actually, that building looks nice
Yeah,
inside.
I can't wait for Brother Brandon to come. I want to ask him. I know we talk about Romans and everything like that, but I want Brother Brandon to he done it already on Facebook and all that, but I would like to get him to just tell us his feelings of it. I know I like it. The sound quality in there is awesome. With all the hiccups we had some.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, because Man, it was just one issue after. You're doing something good when the devil attacks you like that. We had a speaker go out. We stayed late at night. Everything wouldn't work out, and somehow or another, Sunday morning we was in there. So
It looked good. It really came out good.
So
It looks like I don't know, man. The way them chairs are set up, it looks like that sanctuary is smaller than the other one.
it's wider. It's wider. That's why.
That's why.
It's wider.
It's
So,
more like this instead of like this.
Yeah, it's not long.
Yeah, but it looks like it is the same
Yeah.
size.
The overall building is 10 times bigger than the other one was.
Yeah, but how many people can you put in that sanctuary though?
Oh, and you making me think right now.
Well,
dare
I
you, man.
gotta make your brain work.
Nah, I'm not sure.
I saw you didn't have all the chairs out, so.
Well, no, there's some of them messed up,
Oh,
so they got to get them fixed.
oh,
So, but Boogie's been there, but Boogie hasn't been there since the finished product. He's been helping us out over there.
Yeah, I was helping you out. Yep.
So,
Oh yeah.
yeah. Bowen didn't do nothing to help him. Bowen just ragged out.
yeah.
But hey,
I'm
got
a
it
year
done.
older, guys.
I know. Huh?
Well, that's not too bad.
Yep.
I'm slowly catching up to you, Bowen.
Yep.
It was the bad thing, though. You have a birthday every year, so you keep going further and further away from me as well.
You know, it's kind of like the moon and the earth. They go further, further away. Yeah.
To be honest with you, Isaac, I don't think about my birthday, man, no more.
Dude, that was the thing this year. I didn't feel like
You won't. I feel the same.
this is, I guess I'm getting to that 3-0 mark. LB told me that the other day. One more year until you're 30. I was like, oh, you have to rub it in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've been
after
30.
a
I've been there. I know how it feels to be in the desert.
You're about to be. If we're still podcasting, which I think we will be, at that time when you turn 40, I'm gonna go on there and say, Lordy, Lordy.
If the Lord says the same.
Yeah, the Lord said the same.
Yeah.
You know, if he tarries still that time.
Yeah.
The Lord might come back tonight.
That's why I'm trying to get Booger to watch that video I've been trying to get him to watch.
Yeah, we always interrupt you.
Oh, you're trying to convert me, huh?
No.
Well, we've been trying to tell you to get saved.
Yeah, I'm just here just to make sure you're doing it right.
If you watch that video, I've been trying to get you to watch it, see what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, I got plans to watch
No.
it. I got to give my my orthodox Christianity, thinking there. I got to make sure it's all right.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, we gotta make sure it's doctrinal correct.
Yeah, yeah.
All my
yeah.
doctrines are correct. I mean, I just,
Oh, you one of those Christians, huh? You're perfect, huh?
no. I mean, like I told you, I got my temple, I mean,
Oh, okay.
remember I told you about that?
Boogie, don't you remember we went to his house the other day? We heard hum.
Oh yeah, and he was upside down on his head, and he was on the wall, and his legs were up. Yeah.
Yeah, he was kind of leaning that way because his stomach made it off balance.
Yeah. and then when he landed on his stomach, he bounced. Doom, 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 doom. He bounced like a rubber ball.
Well, hey, hold on, now, guys. Hold on, we can't talk like that. That Ben Soprano went ahead on Facebook a few minutes ago. I think it was a few minutes or a few hours ago. I seen it. There's some people that are saying it's not politically correct to talk to fat people like that anymore. So well, we apologize.
We're sorry. It's a hate crime. We're sorry.
And the only one we can really charge on that is Boogie. Boogie's the only skinny one in here. I'm
You
just
charge
saying.
me if I talk about myself like that?
Well, no, it's you, but the left won't say you're woke. So I'm just saying.
You see, I'm the
Left wing, right wing, middle ring, whatever wing they want. I really don't care.
Okay. Well, to answer your question, the seats in the sanctuary at the New Beginnings right now is 142.
Oh, I didn't think there was that many.
So, but that's not the chair set up right now. LB, that's the chair set up right now. Okay.
Yeah, you
How
can.
did you find that out? Oh, so you got inside sources. He was. Wait a minute, hold on. And I know people watching on YouTube can't see him, but how the heck were you running sound and hearing the count of the chairs?
140,
Oh, okay.
142 chairs. That's a lot of chairs.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
There's 142 souls who can
Yeah.
get there and save,
Right.
And I tell you what, we had a good little crowd that first Sunday we were there.
Yeah,
we had
I seen on the video.
We had a good little crowd.
Your new live stream looked all right, too. I'm just saying, I'm humble like that. I'm humble.
Oh yeah. Brag about being humble.
Yeah. I'm being proudful about being humble.
I think think we need to talk about pride.
Yeah, that's the next topic. I've been feeling that.
I've been feeling that in my soul for a long time.
Spirit, soul, and body. Yep.
Spirit, soul,
Soul and
body,
body.
mind.
The little we got left. I was watching the Looney Tunes one day and had a villain look at Bugs Bunny. He says, "Come here, little bunny, so I can have your brain." He says, "Sorry, Doc, I need all the little I got."
I need all the little bit that I got left.
And we use a little bit we got left to study for topics like we got tonight.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
So
anyway,
Let's get to our topic for the
Yeah.
night, please.
Yeah.
wait, you don't
Yes,
like
yes.
talking you don't like talking carnal things to us? You know?
Well, we need to talk about John Bunyan or John
Not John Bunyan.
or
John Newton.
John Newton.
I was waiting for Boogie to make that mistake.
I almost said John Isaac. I mean John.
John Wesley.
No, not John Wesley. The one who won the apple.
Isaac Newton.
Isaac Newton. Yeah.
That'd be,
They had a lot of Johns
What a
back then. You heard?
That will be.
What's the deal naming all these men John?
I don't know.
Almost 90% of them are John. John
Yeah.
Wesley.
It's like Brandon right
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
You know how many Brandons I know? If you tap on my phone, I think I got like 10 of them. I'm like, man, what's up with the word? What's up with Brandon?
How many Bowens do y'all know?
Bowen, that's an honor and a privilege. You're the only one that we're aware
That-
of.
You know how
that-
many
that-
other ones I met since
None.
I've been living? No. I met 3 of them.
Really?
Yes.
What does Bo? Like someone called Bo? Someone sounds like Bowen? I have a friend, his name's Bo.
Oh, yeah.
that's
I've
that-
heard a lot of people say Bow.
Yeah.
We even call Bowen Bow once in a while.
Yeah, so
but
that's
it's just-
pretty close.
But I have met people that were named Bowen.
Huh.
I met a girl that's named Bowen.
That must be scary.
Is she pretty?
No, she's pretty.
Oh, okay. That's one good thing going for her. Yeah.
She's a pretty girl.
Just has a that's a weird name.
That's a weird name for her. to
Yeah,
have.
yeah. It just don't match.
And then I met a Chinese that was named Bowen.
Oh wait,
What?
you serious?
Yeah, I did.
Huh.
And I
Very
I
interesting.
met another one. I forget where he's from though. He's from the United States. He's from a state, but I met him and he's named Bowen. All their first names are Bowen.
I did not
Did they
know
all
that.
look like you? You know, they were there.
Isaac, I know Isaac.
They were
He has a right not to answer that.
Isaac, I'm glad they don't look like me.
they were blessed and privileged.
It'd be a horrifying, terrifying thing to even know them people look like me and they were named Bowen.
You don't want nobody looking like you, Bowen.
You know what? I'm glad I ain't got no kids because when I pass and I go on, y'all ain't gonna have nobody to chase that looks like me.
Well, we see. Good, like I said, I'm believing by faith. We're gonna go ahead and be still on a podcast. We might be in a TV studio. Who knows? We'll put a big picture of you right there so everybody still remembers you, Bo.
No, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna have them stuff me
No,
and not put me in the ground, but they're gonna put me standing up by my tomb,
And we can have lights in the bottom.
and they're gonna and I'm gonna be like a pumpkin. You know, I'm gonna be like one of them scarecrows.
the scary crows.
Yeah, and they're gonna put me right there, and they're gonna fix me up.
We'll put a bunch of hay in it.
and they're gonna put some hay on the bottom, and then they're gonna come and they're gonna light a little candle, and they're gonna stick that in me, and they're gonna light up my eyes, and
You're really trying to scare people to death.
and some people that come in the studio. We thought Halloween ended years ago.
It's every day for us. It's every day for us. We're looking for a Bowen's replacement. Some young guy from Bible college will come. I'm ready to share the word. What's that?
He was the great old ancient one. Now he's stuffed like a pillow.
stuff like a pillow with duck feathers.
Anyway, you ready to get
Yes.
started, I guess?
Yeah, we need to get started with this, please.
Like I said, man, you don't like talking to us, man. You only see us once a week. You know, you see us twice, 3, 4 times a week.
I don't come here as much as I used to, though, during the week.
Reading too much. Anyway, all right. So
I sleep too much.
You sleep. I hope it ain't beauty sleep, 'cause it ain't working.
No, I'm just getting ugly about a day.
Whoever said that they were Sleeping Beauty were lying.
They need help.
Boogie said it. I did. Anyway, all right. So, guys, we're gonna go ahead and talk. We did this with John Bunyan, and I think we did it with one other guy. I'm not sure.
Another John, something probably.
I don't know.
There's a lot of Johns.
We've covered which good good announcement. We're working on our 100th episode. Everybody, like, how many that away? We're 6 episodes away of being 100. So
We had 93 right now, huh?
no, 90. This is the 94th.
94.
94?
Okay, well, we're 93.
Yeah, 93 was last weekend.
Yeah.
That some people are confused because they see the YouTube channel. It says episode
Right,
83
right.
or 80, whatever, and they're like, "Well, no, you only had 80 some." Well, if you count Brandon's episodes, that is considered as an episode as well. We just put that into a season. 'Cause that series, it would be kind of weird if we kept putting it as episodes and people would try to listen to it, and they'd be like, "Well, where's the first chapter?" The way that we have it set up, you do season 1, episode whatever, you can go ahead and listen to all of them. Like, I know Apple does that. Apple puts the whole season first. Then you can go ahead and listen to the rest of the podcast episodes.
Oh, okay.
So, but working on that. But anyway, like I said, close to 100 episodes, man. I don't remember how. I remember some episodes. I don't remember all the episodes. So.
Got so many.
But anyway, so we're going to be talking about John Newton. You might be asking who John Newton is. John Newton was the man that wrote Amazing Grace. And a lot of people might say, well, this man must have been a Holy Spirit filled all his life. And I know he had kind of a rough start, just like John Bunyan. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to our Brothers Just Searching historian with non-degree, he did not graduate from nowhere. You know, he just high school, and that was homeschool. So hey, you know,
I was just one of the type person. I just packed up the horse and I just went west.
you packed up the horse.
I thought you had went north.
Yeah, no, I went west. And when they said go west, young man, go west. No college, just
In
go
the
west.
spiritual world, Boogie just went west.
Yeah. I just learned hands on
He
training.
came from the west.
So,
Yep.
so Boog, tell us a little bit about John Bunyan. What do you know about him?
John Bunyan.
Not John Bunyan.
I'm sorry. John, sorry, folks.
You know, hold on.
John Newton.
I just corrected Boyd.
Yeah,
I've been correcting you for the last 2 days on that. You heard that, huh? You heard that.
And this not as bad as the Social Security.
Yeah, that was solid.
When I meant to say,
Boog, let me tell you, before so Brother Swagger wrote a book, Eternal Security. Bowen read it. I bought it, never read it. Boogie goes to ask Bowen, hey, Bowen, did you read that book on Social Security that Jimmy Swagger wrote?
Folks, we having problems here.
I didn't have no coffee. That's what it was.
And, hey,
John, you said John Bunyan. He said the same thing.
Yeah, it's your fault. You did it.
yeah, you haven't messed up yet. It was me and Bowen that messed
Oh,
up.
man.
Woo.
But anyway,
At least we're laughing tonight, guys.
Yeah,
You know,
ooh,
little
yeah,
insight.
right.
For the last 2 weeks, it was kind of rough. But
Yeah.
hey.
Rough with it.
but anyway, he was what date he was born, Isaac? I think it was 17 something. Was he was born?
1725.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then he was born in England, and then what happened was his daddy. The reason why we got to say this because you can hear a lot about boats and sailing and sailors a lot because that's how it was back in the day. But his daddy was a sailor.
His
and
daddy was, I believe, John Newton.
yeah, something. I forgot his name.
Well, no, his dad was John Newton's elder.
Elder. Okay.
I guess they didn't say senior back in the day.
Yeah, back in the day. But anyway, his daddy was off to sea a lot. And his mama actually raised him. And she was actually a God-fearing woman. She taught him the Bible. And she actually taught him Isaac Newton's hymns and stuff like that. And she actually trained him. Now, we don't know if he was saved as a child at that point. I don't really say if he was saved yet or what. Or he accepted Christ yet. We don't know. But he was taught the Bible. And then what happened was his mom died. And then his daddy remarried, I think, to Italian woman I heard or something like that. But anyway, later on in his life, because his father was a seaman, he became on board on seas and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
his mama died according to Christianity history.
Yeah.
ChristianityToday.com.
Yeah.
His mama died of
Tuscarosis, I think.
tuberculosis.
Yeah, something like that.
When he was 7, and at 11, he went with his dad on the first of 6 sea voyages.
Yeah.
When the with a merchant navy captain.
And that was pretty much his whole life. He was on there for quite a long time.
And you got to realize something too. Back in the 1700s, shipping wasn't like today. You go on these big cruises and you go on. You have electricity. You have there's still some work at sea. Don't get me wrong, but
it's
you have
not
a
like
lot
it
of
was.
comfort. Back then, they had no AC. They had no filters. They had no.
To kind of get an idea, what if you ever watch that series Catch, where it was
the Deadliest
Deadliest Catch. If you kind of if you want to kind of see how rough life was, kind of watch that.
But the Deadliest, they still had.
It's not as bad.
The Deadliest Catch is heaven compared to what they did back in the 1700s.
But still, they had storms. That's what I'm talking about. They had storms, and their boats wasn't as they are now, and then they even sink and have trouble.
Oh yeah.
So can you imagine? So life at sea was pretty rough, unless you really loved it. But like I said, from a young age, he was there, and he spent. But the thing was, we don't know if he, like I said, we don't know if he was saved yet. When his mama was alive, we don't know that. We don't know if God just used it or planted a seed. So when he did get saved, or he was, we don't know. But one thing we do know, he backslid, or he was not converted yet. And one of the two, and they said he was a cursing sailor. They said he was wicked. They said the people on the ship didn't like him at all. They had one part where it's not funny, but it is humorous in a way. They said he was on a ship, and they said that they didn't like him so much that they actually left him in Africa, and he ended up becoming a slave.
Yeah, that was later on.
Yeah.
But he worked for his dad for a little while too, because you have right here, at the age of 11, we talked about that when he was first went to sea with his father. Newton sailed 6 voyages before his father retired in 1742. America wasn't even a nation yet.
No, I don't think so.
And at that time, Newton's father made plans for him to work at a sugarcane plantation in Jamaica. Instead, Newton signed on with a merchant ship sailing to the Mediterranean Sea. And I don't know if this was when that happened, but in 1743, just a year later, he was visiting his friends, and the Royal Navy went ahead and kidnapped him to serve in the Navy.
That's right. Yeah.
And he became a midshipman aboard HMS Harwich. Excuse me. And at one point, Newton tried to desert and was punished in front of a crew of 350 men. He was stripped. To the waist and tied to the garning, something from the water.
And they whipped him.
And he received a flogging, which is like a whip.
Yeah.
And he received 8 dozen lashes, guys.
And was it one part where he actually tried to kill the captain and commit suicide?
Well, what happened, according to Wikipedia, John Newton, that really tormented his mind. He was trying to recover from that, and you got to realize too, if he was on sea when they did that, can you imagine them throwing salt water on you, and you have salt water all over, and Bowen and y'all, we all been cut already, and you put some cold water or something on you, like something with salt, it burns. Can you imagine 8 dozen latches? 12 is a dozen. We did the numbers earlier.
Yeah,
that was 96 lashes.
What?
96 times hit with a whip, and
can you imagine the Lord Jesus when they whipped him?
And we don't, like I said, we don't know.
Even probably worse.
When did they show what he was flogged with? They just say a whip. So I don't know if because we
don't know if it was a bull whip.
Well, the Lord Jesus Christ was whipped with a cat whip.
But they had stuff in the end of the rope,
and they actually grabbed to the meat.
They actually grabbed the flesh and tore it.
Yeah, pretty much. So Jesus had it worse.
Well, on that point though, I'm kind of glad that we live in a society where discipline isn't that bad now.
When they said discipline back then, they believed it back then.
But he was disgraced, and that's why he wanted to go ahead and leave there. According to a website, he made a deal with the captain where he was part of the slave trade.
Yes.
After that, and that's when that part when he became a slave to. He got on that crew, whatever, and in 1745, the crew of the Pegasus. I don't know how they said these names back then. Anyway, they left him in West Africa with Amos Cloud.
Yeah, and he became a slave.
He was a slave dealer.
Mm-hmm.
Cloud took Newton to the coast and gave him to his wife, Princess Paye.
And he became a slave to her.
And she abused him. He was a slave for about 3 years.
They actually said that the slaves even felt bad for him and gave him food. They felt sorry for him. Even the slaves felt sorry for him.
There was a quote on here. I'm reading right here that his clothes became rags. They didn't give him a change of clothes. He had what he was wearing.
And what saved him, that was the grace of God. What saved him, his daddy retired, but his daddy asked the captainship that he was a captain that he was good friends with, said, "Can you go find my son and bring him home?" So he found Newton. I don't know if he ran away or they escaped or they bought him. I'm not quite sure what happened right there. But to make the story short, he got with that guy, but they said he was so. They said he was drunk. They said he cursed like a sailor. Of course they did, but he was worse. They said he was actually a wicked, wicked man. They said he was drunk. He was so drunk one time he actually fell off the boat.
Well, let's go according to that though. And
yeah.
It just shows you who God goes after. We can go to the Apostle Paul.
Mm-hmm.
Apostle Paul killed Christians.
Mm-hmm.
The Apostle Paul went ahead and put him in jail, and God saved him. And look, Apostle Paul wrote the whole. It was revealed to the Apostle Paul the new covenant. We talked about John Bunyan a while back, the writer of Pilgrim's Progress.
Mm-hmm.
A lady told him, and they said she cussed him. That lady said, "Man, boy, you're worse than me, and I'm an adult."
Yeah, and she cursed.
And it just shows how much God used, because a lot of people know of the song "Amazing Grace," but when we're going to talk about it later, he also helped in slavery in England. We're going to talk about it later on. It's funny how God used a man that nobody wanted to begin with, and he was the chief of sinners, like Paul said, and God used him to do great and mighty works.
Well, watch this. We get the part where the song "Amazing Grace" pretty much came about. What happens when he fell off the water? They didn't like him so much, but they actually speared him. Back then they had a spear type thing.
Harpoon.
Yeah, where that was made for whales and fish and stuff. And they said they got him in the leg, and they said he was wounded. Or he was pretty, not crippled, but they said he had a limp leg for a little while, or wounded leg for a little while because of that. But then later on, a storm happened, and I believe God allowed that storm.
In 1748.
Yeah, I believe God allowed that storm for a reason. They said that he almost died. What happened was when the winds were coming, the waves were coming, the captain asked him to go get a knife or to do something. And while he was going down, and then when he was coming up, a big wave came and actually knocked a fella out and actually took him into the ocean, and he was never seen again. So John Newton came this close of actually being died. So you read like John Bunyan, you read like his story, and so many people where they came close of dying, not just once, but a couple of times where God spared them for a certain task. So that can happen with anybody. God can still do that today. But
that was off of Donegal, Ireland.
Yeah, and then watch. What happened was he got onto the wheel of the ship, where it was the ship that the wheel the round deal.
I know. I know. Man, I'm trying to think of the. It's sad. My father-in-law shrimps for a living. I still don't know.
The round deal. The oar, not the oar.
No, I think no, it's not the oar. The oar is the one when you paddle.
Yeah.
Anyway,
he got on to that wheel. We call it the wheel.
Yeah.
I think there's another name for it. But anyway, the what?
Yeah, would it steer the boat?
Round. Yeah. Well, anyway, he grabbed it and then he started praying. Now this is shocking to a lot of people because he was like chief among sinners. He was the bad of his crew, and he started praying. And he said, "Lord, I ask you to, if you spare us, I promise to serve you for the rest of my days." And then he said, and then they said his amazing thing. And they said he remembered, things that his mother was teaching him.
Well, I was about to make that point.
Yeah,
the Bible said that raise a child right and they'll never depart from him.
He was remembering all the hymns and the scriptures that his mama gave him. And then he also told the Lord, if you promise to bring us safe, I'll serve you for the rest of my life. And he prays the Lord, help us. And they said not too far after that, they believe the storm ended.
But
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you something. I read somewhere that I read that on here. If I could find it, I'd read it, but I can't read it. I can't find it. There was holes in the ship from the storm.
Yes, I'm glad you mentioned that.
When he came out from the bottom where he was, when he come up, the men that were in the bottom were so terrified that they were going to drown and lose their lives that they started taking bedding and started taking clothes and stuff and started plugging up the holes to stop it.
Mm-hmm.
That's where John Newton went up on top to steer the boat. And when he started praying, that's where God calmed the seas and calmed the storm.
Mm-hmm.
So they wouldn't lose their lives.
So you think, in your opinion, God was trying to do that to get his attention, maybe?
I believe that. I believe God got his attention for a reason.
Because you be reading the Bible when Jonah was trying to run away. Remember,
it's just
supernatural, God sent a storm.
It's just like David.
Mm-hmm.
Look what David did. Okay, David murdered, plus he committed adultery.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and God still used David.
Oh yeah, God can use anybody.
God will use people. You know. I mean, there's people, you read about people in the Bible that did horrible things, but God still used them. That shows you the kind of God we serve. Okay? John Newton, God got John Newton's attention for some reason.
I believe, personally, God used him because he wanted Amazing Grace and these hymns to be written. Because God has a purpose.
God had a purpose for John Newton.
And the thing is, what most people don't realize, if you listen to the Amazing Grace song, most of it, I don't say all of it, but a good bit of it is because of this account. God turned something that was bad into good.
Into good to show his glory.
Yeah. Because remember,
to glorify him.
I think one part of the song, remember that part when it says, grace will amazing grace, and grace will lead me home.
Lead me home.
That's where he got it from.
That's where he got it from.
Because he was praying and he said, well, grace is gonna carry me home and carry me all the way home, talking about heaven.
Right.
And so so things, it's amazing how when you hear songs or you read books or novels of people, you'd be surprised how much people don't know how the story came about.
How it came about.
That's why I'm glad Brother Swagger and them made that series about the
song with the
story behind the song.
I was amazed how much I heard about John Bunyan and a few of them,
John Newton.
I'm sorry, and John Bunyan, all of them, how they're behind their stories. How you're like, wow, it's amazing how a lot of their life impacted their songs or their books or their sermons or whatever. And other things were mixed with it, of course, but it's amazing how most people don't realize their life played into those things.
I remember, and that shows the impact of Focus on the Family had on a lot of kids, because I remember listening to Adventures in Odyssey with Mr. Whitaker on the program was talking to a young child about John Newton.
Oh, really? I didn't know.
Yeah, they have an episode where they play out John Newton's life.
Really?
On the episode. Yeah,
I never heard that one. But there's a lot of Adventures in Odyssey.
Oh yeah, Adventures in Odyssey been out there for years.
I just heard there's a few of them, really.
But going back to his conversion, like you said, there had to be something supernatural with that storm.
I believe God did that for a reason.
In two ways: one, the storm, and then secondly, if they had holes in the ship back then,
that's from the storm. They had holes in the ship.
That's what I'm saying. If they had holes from the storm, 9 out of 10, it was sunk. It was done. You couldn't stop her. And then, like I said, they didn't have bilge pumps. They didn't have.
I know, but the thing is, you got to look at it. They saved that ship. That ship never sunk. They made it to shore.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That was supernatural.
That was a supernatural thing for that to happen.
For a ship back in the 1700s like that to have holes and still make it to dock.
That's
rare.
a miracle.
Yeah, it was a miracle. Well, God had a reason for that.
Well, it's just like the Pilgrims when they came to America. That ship they were on, that was just a ship to bring wine. Really, it was not made to go to the Pacific. It was just made to go to a little line of England coast. So that's a miracle.
You talking about the one that he was on after he was rescued?
No, I'm talking about the Pilgrims.
The Pilgrims.
The ship they were on. That was a miracle that they came aboard like they did. Because the ship they were on, it was not made for the Atlantic. And it was amazing that they came here. So, God, supernatural things happen a lot. You'd be surprised back in those days.
Right,
you know.
Right. And John Newton, after that incident, it says here on Wikipedia, he began to read the Bible and other religious literature. Yeah. By the time he reached Britain, he had accepted the doctrine of the evangelical Christian. The date was March 10th of 1748, an anniversary he marked for the rest of his life. That's when John Newton gave his life to the Lord, and that's when he fully surrendered to Jesus Christ. From that point on, he avoided profanity, gambling, and drinking. So, and see, that's the thing. You know, on a point like that, people talk about: is it okay to drink? Is it okay to cuss? Is it okay to?
But you read these guys, no.
Well, it's just not that. It's kind of funny that a lot of Christians, when they get saved, they don't want it.
Right.
I'm not saying it's not right. I'm not saying it's not wrong, because there's scriptures that back it up on both ways. We had a discussion on that. But at the same time, it's kind of funny how when a Christian shouldn't desire
No.
to have that. And when you read testimonies like of John Bunyan was the same way. We talked about him a while back. When John Bunyan was lost, he was drinking, he was smoking, and he was cussing. He was doing all the things of the world. But it's funny, when he got saved, that all changed.
That's right.
And that is the spirit of regeneration through the Spirit of God.
But did he become a pastor? If I
Later on, yeah.
He become a minister and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and this is the thing too. A lot of people may think, well, he was a slave trader. Because and a lot of people think, well, did he stop that? No, he continued working in the slave trade. You got to realize that too. A new born again believer, you can think, well, smoking, drinking, cussing, and all that's wrong. But as a new believer, some people grow into learning things.
He didn't know.
He was a new baby at the time. Well, a new baby.
But they actually said that he did because of his conversion. They said the slaves that were on there were actually treated good when they were on his ship.
Yeah, he treated them real good when he was converted.
Because you see, a lot of people don't realize there was a lot of slavery that went on back then, but not all the slaves were treated bad. I know we have this mentality. Some people think, well, every plantation in America or every slave thing in the world was bad. And there were some conditions where they were treated good.
Well, the concept of slavery was wrong. The Bible was against that as well.
Yeah.
But even because, like, a lot of people, I think it's John MacArthur that gave a good point on that. When people were saying, well, didn't the Israel people have slaves? Well, yes and no. People would look at them as slaves, but in reality, that was like the wealth. Yeah, they were more like hard help.
Right.
It would be the same example. Boy say, "Hey, I need $20. Isaac, can you borrow $20?" I say, "Well, Bowen, I'll give you the $20, but you gotta come work for me for an hour."
And did you know Israel? And this amazing thing that Israel was different than other cultures, though. Did you know the slave can actually sue their master in Israel?
Yeah, they were treated wrong. Right?
Yeah. So slavery, and then some people, to live or survive, it was better for them to become a slave.
The slavery that Israel,
because they would have starved or something, or
the slavery that Israel experienced wasn't the same kind of slavery that we had.
No.
The slavery that they experienced,
not quite as bad.
The slavery that they experienced was because Israel was growing at a fast rate. They were populating real quick.
In the
and
land.
The Pharaoh didn't like that, so he had to do something so he could control them. So
the population.
Yeah. So I think, that's what I look at.
Let's go back to John Bunyan. John Newton, yeah. John Newton later said that his true conversion did not happen until sometime later. He marked the date down. But he was like, this is what he said about himself running as a slave boy. He said, I could not consider myself to have been a believer in the full sense of the word until a considerable time after. That means after he left the slave trade, which he did leave. Let's see when he retired.
Yeah, fortunately he retired.
Yeah, he caught a stroke. That's what happened.
Okay, yeah.
He made 3 voyages as a captain of the slave ships Dukes of Arguin and Africa. After suffering a stroke in 1754, he gave up seafaring while continued to invest in the manatees slave operation. But in 1780, Newton moved to the city of London as a recruiter of St. Mary Woolland Church. That's when he became a pastor and whatnot, where he contributed to the work of the Committee of Abolishing of the Slave Trade formed in 1787. During that time, he wrote books, Thoughts Upon the African Slave Trades, in which he states so much light has been thrown upon the subject but by many able pen, and so many respectable persons have already engaged to use their ultimate influence for the suppression of a trafficking, which, contrary to the feeling of humanity, that it is a hope, this is a stain of our national character, will soon be wiped out. So he became an activist to stop the slave trade, and later on in his life.
And he actually influenced a guy, I forgot his name, but he actually influenced an England senator to he was an abolitionist to end slavery.
Well,
So
he was a
God,
pastor. Well, they call him an Anglican priest, but he was like a pastor at that church. That happened. And he started the process in 1767, but people were like, "Oh, you're a slave trader. You can't be a pastor."
Mm-hmm.
And he was sponsored by a guy named John Tartan, a wealthy merchant and evangelist philanthropist. He supported that. He gave him recommendations, and they gave it to him. And
they said the reason why he
his,
wrote Amazing Grace because he wants to encourage his congregation to
he started a prayer
the
meeting.
faith.
Looking into that, he started a prayer meeting in 1755. It was a Bible study.
Yeah.
And he was influenced by both Wesley brothers.
Oh, wow.
And George Whitefield.
Oh, yeah.
And he also, on this article, said he adopted some mild Calvinistic teachings. But after 3 years, Newton arrived. Poet William Cowper moved to the city he was at, Olney, and Newton wrote 280 hymns, and he helped Cowper write 68 of the hymns, and then that became popular as the Olney hymns.
But of course, the
and
one
that's
that
when the
mostly,
Amazing Grace, Amazing Grace was written at that time.
That was the most popular one,
right?
But this is what people don't realize, and I didn't know this until studying this. They actually said that Amazing Grace, when it came to America, see the Amazing Grace song was the same, but the tune, the sound, or the music that went with Amazing Grace that we know it today was developed in America in the South. I did not know that and stuff. And there's two theories of who came up with the melody or who came up with the music. They say it could have been African Americans when they were sold as slaves and they heard John Bunyan's song. They just added John Newton. I'm sorry, and they added their own twist. They added their own. They kept the same.
They put their own little twist.
Yeah, they added their own. Or it could have came from Scotland. Some people think the tune the Scottish could have mixed up the tune. It doesn't matter. Either way, it came more popular in the United States, and it actually made the hymn more popular when that extra song was added.
Right.
They actually said that it was actually sung when Martin Luther King in the 60s, when they had their march. They actually believe that was one of their top songs that they sing was actually Amazing Grace. And I think... when the Berlin, I didn't know that, but when the Berlin Wall fell, they said they were singing Amazing Grace. I did not know that. When that was shocking for me. I did not know that.
That song influenced the world. And it's funny. Same thing with John Bunyan's book, The Pilgrim's Progress.
Yeah.
They thought, hey, this is the least importance of my material. It became one of the most important to Christianity.
And September 11, it was used. It's used at a lot of funerals. It's used in a lot of, big events. Millions of people sung it. Almost every group I can think of, one way or another, almost sing it. Mostly country singers singing it.
Presley singing.
Yeah, Elvis Presley. Yeah, Amazing Grace, and it's still being sung today. We will listen to a couple of groups today. A while ago, we listened to a few Irish women. They were singing it and stuff. So it's still popular today. I like Chris Tomlin's version, and there's a couple of versions. But so it's one of the great hymns that's ever been in history. So
and then you have him back in the you're talking about the guy that he teamed up with to be part to stop the slave trade. It was Wilbur Force.
Okay.
Wilberforce. He was he became an ally of John Newton. And both together, he was a leader of parliament. They campaigned to abolish the African slave trade. And what is neat about this, which you hear a lot of activists, they don't see something that they fought for to end. John Newton got to see because he lived to see the Slave Trade Act.
He was an eyewitness.
He was an eyewitness in 1807, which he enacted this event. He stayed around to see it. And Newton came to believe that during the first 5 of his 9 years as a slave trader, he had not been a Christian in the full sense of terms, which I read what he said earlier on. But So John Newton had a real good, interesting life. He was married. His wife died in 1790, and I believe he passed away in 1807. He died not long after
the slave trade
ended. He died in December.
They actually said the guy that he influenced, that politician, that abolitionist, the one you're talking about. They said that the guy was thinking about, he was talking to, I don't know if it was him, I don't know if it was John Newton or somebody. He was saying, should I leave politics and just go be a minister? Or because back then a minister was a big thing back then. So should I just go to seminary or be a minister? And it was actually John Newton that actually told him, no, stay in politics, so you can end the slavery. He said, just like Esther was chosen by God for such a time as this.
Yeah.
So it's amazing how a preacher was actually encouraging a man to stay in politics to make a difference. So you don't hear that too much. So
right. And he's buried in London at St. Mary's Woodnart in London, and they say they both were reinterred at the Church of St. Peter and Paul in Ollie in 1893, which is a funny thing too. A lot of people don't know about this, but John Newton, for his song Amazing Grace and other hymns like that, in 1982, Newton was recognized for his inferior hymns by the Gospel Music Association when he was indicted into the Gospel Music Hall of Fame for writing Amazing Grace. So
wow.
It's kind of funny. Almost 200-some years later, he's getting the recognition of writing Amazing Grace and stuff like that. But like we said, the song itself, Amazing Grace, has impacted the world, and I think it's a great testimony of this man. John Newton didn't. He didn't always live for the Lord, but he remembered what his mama taught him through the bad times, and he gave his life to the Lord, and God used this man greatly, just not to write music, but to stop slavery in England.
So never get discouraged.
No, never get discouraged.
When you see sinners getting like, oh, they'll never get saved. Oh, these men can get saved. God can use anybody.
God can save me. He can save anybody.
Yeah,
Amen.
That's right. And you were down the barrel of sinners, were you? You're the bucket of sinners.
If Paul was the chief of sinners, he was right behind him.
I was at the bottom of the slop bucket with the cesspool and the green slime.
Of sin.
Ah.
Yeah. He was the last catfish in the bottom.
I was a rotten catfish at the bottom.
I want to tell you a story. Didn't
we just finish the story?
No. It's about John Newton. They said before God at the time was convicting him, they said he actually had a dream. And I know this is weird because it sounds like something like from the Lord of the Rings kind of type thing. But the Lord sent him a dream. The Lord sent him a dream. He saw a figure or individual standing in front of him, giving him a ring. And he's like, the person in the dream gave him a ring. And he says, hold on to it. But he said he threw it into the water in his dream, and fire came from it, and the ring was gone. And then he said the figure came back with the ring. And he said, well, can I have the ring now? And the figure, the individual in the dream told him, says, no, it's not time yet for you to have it. Kind of find out he didn't know it then, but he said later on, he said that ring was a symbol of his life. That his mother taught him the Bible and everything, but he was not holding it precious. He was not receiving what he was taught. That was a symbol. That ring was a symbol of his life. And when the right time came, that's when he got saved. And then he got the ring of his life back, the Lord. You know? So it's weird when you hear things.
It's interesting when you go look at behind songs and stuff like that.
And stories too. Fiction stories or stories in general. Or just people. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Good conversation tonight, guys. Good conversation.
Good.
Conversation.
Good Christian history.
Yep, good Christian history. That's what we're here for, to give some good history and some light on a lot of
I've been
subjects.
wanting to do it, and a lot of people, Amazing Grace is very popular, so I think that's a good topic.
And it's just not that. It's just our series took a lot longer than what we thought it was going to be, and But hey, we still get some good reports on that series, so that's
that's
a
good.
thing.
We're gonna have to
So,
make another series.
One statue, 5 kingdoms.
Yeah, we got to.
We're gonna get a lot of comments on that series.
Yeah, we got to do one about Revelations.
That's gonna be good.
That'll be longer though.
We're gonna do one about Bowen.
Got a lot of irons in the fire right now.
We're
Let's just
gonna
wait.
do one
Yeah.
about Bowen.
Yeah.
About Bowen.
Yeah.
You want to tell your story on there,
We're
Bowen?
gonna
Yeah,
put my story on.
and then we need there's Mormonism and Jehovah's Witness.
We
The
gonna-
next one is Bowenism.
Somehow
you had to throw it in there.
Somehow I knew that was coming.
Yeah, their pagan Bible they made, the Bowen Bible.
The BS. The
Hey,
BBS.
we need to talk about Mormonism and all that because I got
Yeah.
the DVDs at the house.
Well, me and I was just talking about Masons. We're trying to get We're trying to get some guys into that. So we're
Mason,
trying.
yeah, Mason.
That's another
Mason
big one.
Would be good too.
You know what we need to talk about? Abortion.
Well,
I did a good job. Let's just say, I think, in my opinion, I think I did a good
leave
job.
that on your political.
That topic there, I don't want to touch because
You might get too hot.
I'm gonna get hot headed. I'm gonna get mad.
I'm gonna get upset.
I'm gonna get very upset.
I'm gonna throw chairs and everything.
I'm gonna get very upset, and I'm liable to say things that YouTube's not gonna like, and they're gonna actually throw us off of YouTube.
Yeah,
It ain't
and
gonna
we
be
don't
no
want that.
more.
We don't want that.
They might beep us. They might beep Christians off. Beep
They're
beep.
not gonna beep us. They're gonna throw us off.
Yeah, we're gonna sound like that thing on the Looney Tunes. Beep 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 beep.
beep. Hey, I'm the road runner. Beep, beep.
Those no good beeps. No, we don't do that.
Abortion is not something I like to
Yeah.
talk about. It's not my favorite subject.
We're not supposed to curse. We're supposed to be an example.
Yeah. There
Yeah.
you go. We're not supposed to.
Well, let's say this to the audience. If you want to hear a good conversation on pro-life and pro-choice, go check out my good friends James and Highland from the Dudes Connects podcast.
Yeah.
We had an hour and a half long conversation on that topic, and we went through. We even talked about evolution a little bit on there, so that was kind of fun. So you can go ahead and check that out whenever you can, and also in this podcast, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit the bell. It's important you hit the bell. It lets you know every time we have a new episode out. You can also find us on Apple, Google, and Spotify.
I think
You can find us on Facebook as well at Brothers Just Searching, and the internet brothersjustsearching.wordpress.com.
Yeah, we need to get another series.
Another series. We just finished one.
Yeah, but we need another one. I like that. That gives us something. But I'm gonna come up with something for next Monday.
Okay.
And after that,
We got the evangelist of our John the Baptist of the day, Bowen Roban, going to be having a topic.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to do a lot of studying to come up with something. I don't know what I'm gonna come up.
You know what, Bowen? This is what you do. You sit down and say, Lord, show me what you want me to talk on.
Yeah, I told you I had something for Facebook too. That ain't never got done either.
That's something we're in the works with.
Oh, you still in the works?
Yeah, we're still in the works with it, but we can get it, though.
We can talk about Social Security.
Yeah, that's just like COVID-19. Isaac didn't want to talk about that on YouTube.
No.
But anyway,
we might catch you just talking about it.
No, we ain't gonna catch it, but we're gonna upset some people.
anyway, guys, look, we want to thank y'all for coming. As always, Bowen and Boogie, thank y'all for coming out here and being part of this. We can't wait to see what the Lord is gonna do and what He's continuing on doing. So, everybody out there, thank y'all for listening to Brothers Just Searching. We, if you want to get in contact with us, reach out to us on Facebook at Brothers Just Searching, or you can also find us out. You can email us. Brothers Just Searching podcast, all together, lowercase, at gmail.com. So if you don't know Jesus, we're going to introduce Jesus to you. As Ken Hovind said that we're not saying we're not hiding it. We're after you. We want you to come to heaven with us. So that's our goal.
Yes.
So until next week, be blessed, be encouraged. Remember, Jesus is coming back. Hope you're ready. If not, give us a call. We'll tell you how to be ready. Until next week, be blessed.